So I'm Hans Clausen. I have been artist in residence, one of two artists in residence down at North Edinburgh Arts for the last year or so. And the purpose of the residency has really been to engage local community in thinking about the importance and the place of public art.
It's not still. But you see, it doesn't look much. It needs to be in the vault.
Just because it's kind of got a bit of a recess.
You'll have to move these two, by the way.
I think we should do this and then we put them on the other side. On the wall, so we get them on them here beside the wooden boxes.
Yeah.
And leave that line.
Yeah.
Setting up an exhibition is normally a busy, intense time. Setting up an exhibition with 17 different contributors with 17 different types of objects, some of them very fragile like glass and some of them very, very valuable like some of the John Wayne souvenirs. I mean, everything here is either valuable or has great sentimental value. For the collector project here, it grew out of a conversation that I had with people in Muirhouse. I was doing a little survey around the North Edinburgh Arts Centre with people about what art they liked. What kind of art excites them. And for many people they would say to me, well, I don't like art, or I'm not into art, or art's a waste of time, a waste of money. There's a kind of legitimate kind of comment there about what's the place of art. But my argument or my response was often, well, what do you have at home? What do you have on your wall? And it turns out that most people have things on their wall that they like looking at. So the Collector Project really is a sort of step back in that conversation. So the idea that the things that we have in our homes kind of define us. We can learn a lot about each other from what we have in our homes.
Well, this collection is based on my science fiction books, and it's a small selection. I have around 300.
For my exhibit I've taken as many of the different examples that I could find, but in fact I have possibly in the region of 300 to 400 little soldiers.
I would say I got between 100 200 buses at home.
My collection is of banknotes. At the moment I think we've got about 900.
Well, I probably only have about 70 odds.
Actually, that's not all of them. I think we've got about 83 photographs. And we've got every film that John Wayne made, first on video and then my son put it into DVDs. But there were so many, they didn't have any more room here for them, you know?
Dinosaurs. I haven't counted them. I don't know how many.
Lots.
Yeah.
It's been fascinating to see everybody else's collections, and it sort of starts making you realise how many maybe other things you collect as well. So many people collect and don't even realise they're actually collectors until they see something like this, and then they come in and say, oh, actually, I've got all of these as well. So it's I think there's probably more collectors than we realise. We're all maybe hunter-gatherers at heart, and we have to hunt and gather something.
When Hans first got in touch with me, it was over a year ago. I didn't have an idea of how many there was going to be, but I knew we couldn't do the whole 900. So it's actually taken over a year to narrow it down. Two things that I've found about here. One, I'm not really a sort of arty person, so having an exhibition was really exciting for me, and it's probably the only exhibition I'll ever have, sort of thing. But also, because I can talk for Scotland about notes, it's actually really nice to talk about your notes to just anybody that's coming in. But I think other people that collect things understand the almost obsession you have with giving information out about your collection.
Mrs. Anne Carolan, or Patrick Carolan, who is the original collector, who died last year. So this is sort of in memory of him as well. I mean, there's quite a few came in and thought that one there, my husband, was John Wayne. It wasn't until they went up, they said, oh no, it's not, because the woman that were after him, you wouldn't believe. Wherever we went, I could say, I'm off, My hall is completely full of John Wayne pictures, and all the plates, they're in the sitting room on another wall. Everybody that comes in, of course, from the gas man to read the meter, starts asking me questions about it.
Get on them there and take your jobs. You want to well for want to take a look. Yeah. They won another award for Best Public Transport 2016. So that was
Snapfish, the photo took place online. I have a children's book written in manuscript form and I had a copy. It's only a matter of time then. I've been doing it all my life. Yeah, I was telling somebody about this. This is a little glass. What do you think he is? Because I finally discovered what he is. Yeah, you're right. No, it's glass. It's glass and it's about so high.
And your blue on the shoulders, and you stuck there, to be able to ski.
Well, with some people it becomes an obsession, not looking at anybody. I don't know, I found that when I was going into shops, I was actually looking for wee boxes, not intentional, and then it just, I thought, I like that one and I like that. I used to collect miniatures, but my son has them displayed in a cabinet in his house. And I've told him not to drink them while I'm still on the earth. Because when you look at them and you think, it's the same with the boxes. If I've had one given to me, when you look at it, you remember the person. And over 60 years, with the miniatures. So it was maybe just as well I didn't. I'd been in floods of tears. I've never done anything like this before. And I mean, when you see what people collect, it was my sister-in-law that got me into it. She collects them and she's got a lovely collection.
And I thought, oh, they're really quite pretty and I would like to do that as well. So yeah, I was given one to give to my sister-in-law, and I thought, no, I really like that. I'm just going to keep that for myself. And then I thought I could collect these as well. As you can see, I'm a bit of a chatterbox, and I like talking to people. And it's nice to have people who show interest, and I've been showing them the insides of them, you know, if they want to have a look at them, take them out the cabinet and show them. And yeah, it's nice for me as a collector as well to have people who are interested in what you do.
I've been collecting basically since I was a wee boy and all that. I think it's like a good memory of me and my mum and dad, and it's a good hobby. Been amazing, and it was an amazing day on Saturday. Like we had about 70 people in. Yeah, I meet lots of nice people, and some people like interested and come up to me, and I gave a wee talk about the buses and all that.
On their own wee racks. We weren't going to take them off and put them straight on the wall, but I think they're in the racks.
I just love them, I really do. I think they look great on the wall.
And you see the Greek ones?
Are they?
Yeah, the Greek ones. Social taste.
Stegosaurus. Again, a Stegosaurus.
What's your name?
Iggy.
And what's your collection?
Dinosaurs.
And how many are you going to collect? Are you going to keep collecting them until you grow way, way old?
Yeah.
How many do you think you'll collect?
100. Infinity. I wouldn't do infinity, that would go forever and ever. I can lift them up.
Why do I do it? The reason I started collecting them as a little boy, my brother and I were taken, if we'd been good, when my mum went shopping, we were taken to the local toy shop and we were allowed to buy one each. And some years later, as a grown-up, I was reminiscing, and I looked on eBay to see if they were still available. And of course I found out there's a really hardcore, enthusiastic bunch of people that collect them. It's been fantastic really, and the amount of interest that's been generated has been brilliant. Other people's getting jogged memories of their childhood, and so that's been really nice. Yeah. So we've set up a Facebook page for the exhibition, and we're hoping that members of the public will see that and perhaps join the Facebook group and send in their pictures of their own collections. And you never know, we might have another collector too next year sometime.
It's a fascinating topic. I'm sure there are PhDs written about this kind of stuff. The fine line between collecting and keeping and archiving and hoarding, the difference between an interest in something and an infatuation in something. So I think everybody's on a spectrum. We're all on a sort of spectrum of things. We might only have 2 or 3 things of one kind, but they have importance to us, or we might, like John, have thousands of Airfix models. But I think it all starts from the same place, which is often something nostalgic. Collectors, by their very nature, are often quite private people. And again, that's one of the kind of really positive outcomes, I think, here, is that we've brought something that is normally in the corner of somebody's private home, only seen by family and friends, and we've made what is very personal, very public by bringing it into the gallery.